Hi. Some of you require to understand the fashion context of this hijab issue and turban and ghungat or any kind of headscarf issue. I think there is a fashion context that a lot of people are missing out and uselessly being very stubborn due to political nonsense, due to political adulteration. Their stubbornness going on all around. There's no religious context or whatsoever, but there's only and only there's a fashion infiltration in the lifestyle of all these people who actually think it's a religious diktats. It's a religious diktats which has been written down or passed down by a lot of people, a lot of their due to principles, or through any context that they have to follow or abide by certain things, which is right now becoming a headache for the society, especially in India, that you are seeing these people are so rigid and so stubborn that they have actually forgotten the essence and the need and the fashion context, where this hijab, the headscarf, or the burqa, or the rida, or the turban, or the ghungat, or the nuns wearing the hood, the hood rather. Boys also wear hoods in jackets, as you guys know, all around, right? So what is the fashion context that I'm talking about? It's so very simply evident that fabrics, the material, the fabrics, the textile, the material that was invented, prepared when it's just a few hundreds or maybe just a few thousands of years, if you can just be so specific about it, which has been used in fashion development. But just before that, if you just check out the history before that, in the human civilization, when the fabrics were developed, okay, how do they used to use them? Or before the fabric was developed, like what would they use for covering their body? If there had been any religious context, no religious context were there, because the fabric was invented long after people actually got aware of their own religion, right? If you just look at the history. So what is it? When these people, when these civilization, okay, when these people, this nomads, when the tribals used to roam around places, and walk in the open ground, in open field, for the sake of cultivation, agriculture, or for any kind of activity, right? They required something to protect their body, protect their head, so that they can protect themselves from sunburn, open sunburn, heat, dust, pollution of what, like dust, right? Or from chilling weather, from rain. They required protection. It's so very evident that they never had the fabric facility, the material facility, the clothes they never had. So what did they use it for? How did they protect themselves? Obviously, they protected themselves with leather, the animal hide that they got from killing the animals and eating the flesh, or they use the flesh, okay? And then they use big size leaves that they could manage to get, okay, and then cover the body with animal leather, hide, or bigger size leaves. And when they actually understood that, okay, these coverings are necessary to protect my own body type, then after the agriculture actually thrived, then they made the material, which is like the fabrics. And the same thing actually was incorporated into covering the body. So when people traveled in open places, whether it was for desert area or it was in winter areas, or whether it was in for dusty terrains or rocky areas or in mountains or any place, you just name it, when people used to go out for work purpose, whether for fishing, agriculture, climbing, transportation, or any damn job, they required something to cover their head because of extreme heat. Okay, from what heat means? Not political heat, not religious heat, not all those nonsense. They require to protect them from sunburn themselves. Okay, to protect from sunburns, or from rain, or from cold weather, or from dust. So they required those materials. So people started making what? People started making turbans. People started making headgears. People started making scarf, shawls. When people created a structure like sari, the sari was wrapped on the head as pallu to make it as lower as possible, so that the dust, the heat, doesn't go in and burn their face, especially the women. But what about the male? You still find male wearing turbans, you still find male wearing headgears, anywhere across the world, or big size sun canopy or sun hat, even in for fishing areas, where, or even in for mountaineering purpose, or even in for desert terrains. You'll find, especially if you talk about hijab, I'll tell you that sheikhs, the arid desert, which they require to cover their face. Don't you see the guys wearing, the men wearing white turban, and wrapping their face and riding the camel? What is the religious symbol? There's no religion symbol. They cover the entire body from head to toe, right? And the same thing was professed by the women. And the same thing happened if you look at the European culture. If you see the old European culture, historical garments, you'll find that there used to be long dresses, covered up heads, fabric scarf, because the villagers used to go out there for agricultural purpose. So where is the religious context? It's simply a requirement based on necessity, which was later transcends into fashion. Correct? So we are utilizing that necessity into fashion, and we are uselessly and wretchedly naming it in terms of religious context. Like, I just tell you something, like, if you talk about Indian context, okay, like the women who wear sari, they have the extra pallu at the back, which they require to cover up their body, or cover the face from dust, or cover the head for sunburn. And that's what these guys, those idiots, name it as a religious doctrines, philosophy, dictates, cultural nonsense. All these things, they name it and impose it to just run their agenda, which is whatever political or whatever nonsense or whatever way they feel like they are doing it. But it's very simple that all the garments that evolved through generation, okay, they need not necessarily be a part of any particular heritage as such, cultural or fundamental or religious context. It's a necessity just to be wearing it, okay, just to wear it and cover the body. Even the Punjabi turbans that you guys see, Who said Punjabi turbans? These guys just professed it and adopted it as a mean of somebody's, imposition, or somebody's, just somehow they managed to lure and brand it to certain philosophy that these things are required, so you do it. But actually, just like turbans, Punjabis, Sikhs use it. Okay, you have in UP, Gujarat, in Bihar, lot of guys wearing turban, and that turban is a part of their daily activity. There's no religious contact. Without the turban also they can go out, and there's nothing harm into it. But then it's all about dust, it's all about heat, it's all about cold, it's all about protection. Okay, and then when you start fighting with somebody, at least the turban actually protects you, because it's a heavy mound of fabric, or they don't get hit by some sticks or rods or pebbles, or rocks and all. So when you want to go for fighting, the turban actually protects. And as well as when you open up the turban, it's a big fabric. The fabric can be utilized for a lot of other activities. Some other activity is a fabric. Now you can use that fabric for some other activity if you require it as such. But naming these fabrics, the hijab and all these things, for the sake of religious context and being stubborn and rigid for nothing, is such a farce, such an arrogance, which these people are creating a chaos and havoc in the society in the name of religion, culture, and that's nothing but just sheer idiosyncrasy, political agenda, which I think all of you understand. But lastly, that word which I could tell you, that in Hindi there is a word of being stubborn, dheet. Dheet is a word which is a wretched word for all these people who know everything. These guys know everything. Okay, they know everything, but they are dheet, the stubborn, that horny stubborn. Okay, you know everything, I know everything, but I'll not accept it. That's a stubborn. You cannot do anything. No Supreme Court, no books, no gurus, no organization can actually tell you guys. Okay, so I think the new generation, particularly the learned, wise new generation, must be very careful from all the societies, whichever societies you guys are in, from all the societies. Please be careful and try to be honest with what you actually should have been doing. Okay, this is not what you should have been doing. So this is just a matter of conflict. It's never ending conflict. It is going to end up drastically, but people will be affected with a lot of pains, dishonor in the society in the name of religion, and that is what's going to hamper the lifestyle and the brotherhood, the fraternity that is required to be among the humans. So are you human enough? I'm trying my best by making this video and telling you guys the way I can deliver the best way, right? So it's upon you guys to actually be judgmental about it, opinionate. If you have any doubts and clarification, I'm there signing off for this session right now. Thank you.